Hello everyone, it is Friday, the 11th of September, 2020, and I have your numbers here for your status chat for this week. And before we get into those numbers, I do want to point out we had our special guest, the fourth episode of Dylan's special guest was yesterday, and we had Jason the Marketed stop in with us, and we had a special. I should call it a special because I figured we would run a little bit long on that one because there's just so much to this, and we did cover more than 30 minutes to kind of cover, just even to gloss over the very basics of that particular subject. While he is the business developer for real estate for the Arrow family of exterminators, he has a lot of knowledge in the area of pest control, wildlife management, that sort of thing. The old squirrels in the attic type thing, that sort of thing. Possums under the house, groundhogs, that sort of thing. Does more than what would normally be scoped into a residential real estate transaction under my requirement to keep you informed of your inspection period. And it's more than just that, because owning a home is more than just as it affects my responsibilities. I do this for you to help you guys out and to bring you some content that perhaps is not available other places in similar types of realtors, type of personal websites type stuff. So we're going to get to these numbers. Before we get there, I do want to show you a little clip so you get an idea that you really would be beneficial to me and hopefully to you as well to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This channel, Call Dell to Sell, 2 L's in call and only 1 N in Dell, and no spaces. So you can find me on the YouTube. If you found this, you've got me there. So please, it would help me to keep content like this coming to you with these people because they want to see viewers. I want to see viewers, and I want to bring this information to you. So not quite ready for the numbers. I have a little segment I'm going to run for you right now of yesterday's show, and again ask you to click like and subscribe on all the social medias to keep up with our latest development and industry-related news as we present it to you. So here's that little bit of a segment. Wood fungus and molds. I think they're actually a mold and maybe a part in the class of fungus, but we do have some fungus that can destroy wood, and there's some favoritism I know between white and brown. One kind of likes one type of wood. It's kind of like the powder post beetle, but in my experience, I don't see a lot of those because they like the older houses, the old hardwoods, the oaks. If you have some of that kind of stuff, it can get into flooring. I've seen that and hit some of the wood flooring before. And also like the bee we mentioned, the bee tends to like conifers. It likes the greenwood, the sapwoody type of trees. And so just that's one thing. We could just do a whole show on any one of these particular bugs.
I know.
I mean, here it was 30 minutes. I thought we was going to run long, but I didn't figure I'd be the one doing all the jibber jabber, causing it to get off schedule. But it's just kind of fascinating how when you look at it, you think I'm nearly 60 years old and think I'm pretty sharp, but there's just so much I don't know, and that's why I always give over to the experts. I'm not trying to dodge a question. It's just this is I have to know about a lot of little things just on the edges to know not to know it myself, but to know who to go get when we have a problem. And
Sure.
I found the difference between the shavings and the sand versus the powder. That's the kind of stuff if you don't know to look. Well, I mean, it's just not something you do. It's not what you do.
Right.
But anyway, I'm going to turn that back over to you. Let you have the screen and tell us about whichever one you want.
Great. So yeah, let's touch briefly on fungus. It is the only non-insect on the Tennessee Wood Destroying Insect Inspection Report. And the main difference between funguses and molds, without getting too scientific about it, is that molds and mildews are not wood destroyers, okay? Fungus is a wood destroyer. It changes the structural integrity of the wood. You can have a mold issue which begins with a moisture content in the wood of around 20%, okay? So if you have a moisture meter, which is an instrument used to gauge the amount of moisture, whether it's in sheetrock or in wood, Primarily, it's used to gauge wood moisture. If you have a moisture meter and you're getting meter readings of somewhere in, let's say, the 21, 22, maybe mid 20s, and you're looking at some type of growth on a piece of wood, unless it's 28% or higher, it cannot be wood decaying fungus. So you're dealing probably with some type of mold or mildew when it's less than 28% moisture. When the moisture meter reading is 28% or higher, and you're looking at some type of growth on a piece of wood, then it could be a wood decaying fungus. White rot, brown rot, and a third we look for, which is called Poria incrustata. Poria incrustata is a water conducting fungus, and it will grow rhizomorphs down to a water source, which will bring the water up to the wood to further or quicken the decaying process. So real estate agents out there, folks that are interested in differentiating between molds and fungus, just remember you really need to have at least 28% moisture content for it to be an active wood decay fungus.
And just to keep our regulators happy, to make sure that anything real estate that might be considered advertising, I keep up with that requirement. Here's my little 15-second commercial that we run every week. Dale Delbridge, Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you're currently unrepresented and would like to know how to compare up to 3 properties side by side, room by room, then go over to my new YouTube channel, subscribe while you're there, watch the demo. Afterwards, get with me and we'll set up your exclusive account today. Well, now that we got all that out of the way, let's look at your numbers from last week and this week. Last week we had 65.95 available, which was down from the previous week, and 46.85 available under contract at 71% ratio between those two. This week we had 65.22, which is a further decrease in availables, with a 47.23 being slightly up from the week prior in the available under contracts, with a ratio of 72%. Now with that 72%, it was almost enough to hit the midway 72.5, but it just shied just a little bit. So we gained a percentage point in 1 week, almost gained another bit. So that's what your numbers are for this week. Appreciate you watching. Thank you.